This program is recorded and presented by Chippewa Valley Community Television. The audio for this program can be heard on WRFP LP 101.9 FM.
Chippewa Valley Community Television presents Your Local Race. Meet the Candidates 2016.
Hi, I'm Bob Brown, News Director at Chippewa Valley Community Television. Welcome to another in our ongoing series of interviews with candidates for the Eau Claire School Board. Today we're speaking with Chris Hambuch-Boyle.
Hi, Bob.
Thanks for being here today.
Thanks.
Chris is an incumbent candidate, and why don't we begin by you telling the voters a little bit about yourself and why you're seeking a second term on the school board.
Sure. I retired from the Eau Claire School Board in our Eau Claire School District in 2012. Felt I had the energy and wanting to give more to our district. It was a good place to work. They were very good to me. And I had experienced as an educator what had happened in the district since revenue caps that were imposed in 1993, and kind of watched what that had done to our district over the last 20 or so years. And so I wanted to really be at a different level to have that discussion about school funding. You can be in the trenches and have those conversations, but I thought as a board member I would have a better ability to talk with people at a different level about fixing school funding in Wisconsin. So that was part of it, and also to give back to the board. I'm running again because we've started a governance. We use the key work of school boards. We've got a governance system in now. We've done a plan for the district as far as a systems assessment, and we've worked on our strategic plan. And I really feel I need to contribute to that more before I leave the board.
Okay, all right. You've talked about a little bit your experience with the school district. In addition to your experience, what kind of personal qualities do you think you bring as an individual that were helpful to the board?
Well, as you can see, I've worked at the district a long time, so I always say persistence is the highest form of engagement. I've been there a long time. I really bring a history to the board of the district, and I try as a board member to ask strategic questions that will culminate for good discussions and to bring reflections and my piece of history with the board and the district to our discussions. Okay.
Now you mentioned the ongoing fiscal constraints for the last not only the school district but 1993. So and the school districts, county boards, city councils, will just be all kinds of forms of local government have been dealing with cutbacks and funding that used to come from the state and federal sources. Do you have any ideas, new ideas to how the district might be able to deal with, the school board might be able to deal with those kinds of restrictions, with keeping in mind all the, what district residents want from their schools?
Well, I think that's a really good question. I think that we need a really close connection with our community. As an early childhood special education teacher at the preschool level, much of what we did with families and parents were around their kitchen tables. We made consistent home visits, and we pulled that whole family component into what a child's education would be at that level, especially with kids with special needs. And we did a really good job and continue to do a job at that. So I have that perspective of our community, and I think if I would talk about things that are already going on, we've got our shared services commission that pulls the county board, the city council, and the school district together, so we have conversations about how we can collaborate together and how we can share services so that it is cost effective for our community. We're talking as a shared service commission now on maybe pulling in the university, and I just suggested that possibly we could go back to sharing a grant writer so that we could consistently work together as a community and use tax dollars to the best possible way we can and an efficiency that we can for our community.
Okay. Now, I know that the school board is planning to bring a referendum before voters in November to seek additional local financial support for the district. Are you supportive of that idea?
Yes, I am. Okay. I think it is, as a board member, we have to be very transparent and very connected to our community to bring forth why we need this referendum. They need to be part of this conversation. They need to have input into this conversation. But truly, school funding in Wisconsin is very broken, and I think people are beginning to realize that. We are going to referendum because we need it in order for our school district to survive. So where we don't get funding from the state, we have to go back to the taxpayer and ask them for more money. It will really be our community's decision on whether they want to do that or not. It will behoove us to make sure that our community knows absolutely everything they can about what they need to know in order to feel good about passing this referendum. So we're ready to do that. I think we're very transparent already. But the difference this time too is lots of districts go for their physical needs, their physical plant needs. We really have been talking deeply budget-wise about operational needs and being able to keep the best and brightest in front of their children, being able to have the highest and rigorous and socially emotional standards within a school district that we possibly can.
Okay. Aside from the fiscal concerns, which affect almost everything, other non-fiscal issues that you see coming before the board over the next 3 years if you're reelected, and what ones maybe the voters aren't aware of yet that might be coming soon?
Well, we formed, since I've been on the board, it was introduced when I was initially on the board to have a Charter Choice Innovation Committee. I foresee that as being a catalyst for us to be able to offer more choices for kids and families relative to how their education is delivered and how the pedagogy is taught, more project-based learning. I would love as a board member to connect our high school kids in a process to help build the confluence and to be involved in all those things that happen within our city and involve them more civically within our community as well. And we're just now getting in some applicants on what they would like to do with some of the innovation within classroom. You can either go by a charter school that is authorized by us, which is a public charter, we have 2 of them already, or it can be done through innovation zones nestled right into what we are already doing. So we're looking at things like that, which is very exciting.
Okay. In your first 3 years on the board, is there any, can you think of a one time of an action the board took that you were either really you see as one of the great accomplishments during the first 3 years, or an action that the board took that you really strongly opposed?
I don't ever, what should I say? I oppose things, but I approach it as a member of the board. We are not individual board members, we are a board of 7. So we really have to work together to compromise, to come to some agreements. I think what I'm most proud as a board is that we do have a governance system now within how we work. It's a very good system, and we self-reflect on that as well. And we did a systems assessment. Our superintendent pulled us through a systems assessment. We found that we need to work better on communication so that people really get what the public schools are doing. I think we just keep working. We need to share the wonderful things we do. And the thing I did realize too in the 3 years that I've been on the board is that we are probably, I was trying to think of another entity that doesn't control their front doors. Probably the emergency room, you think? We don't control our front door. We take all kids, we work with all families. I think that's the miracle of public schools. And it's an amazing place to think that I can be on a board to impact that, and that you could connect that closely to the pulse and the piece of what our community is. That's really what I like about it.
Okay. Well, in the little bit of time we have left here, is there any final words you would have for voting? And last thoughts you'd like to the voters to be thinking about you as they go to the polls on April 5th? Well,
I'm a hard worker. I sit right now, I'm ex officio on the governance board for Montessori. I'm on the Shared Service Commission. I'm on the Charter Choice. I chair the Charter Choice Innovation Committee. Very involved and take the work very seriously. So if they want someone who can really connect to the community and take their job seriously and really contribute to it, they can vote for me.
Chris Hambuch-Boyle, incumbent candidate for the Eau Claire School Board. Thank you for being with us today. And thank you for watching. Remember, you can see this interview and all the interviews with school board candidates, as well as candidates for the City Council and School Board, on Channel 994 on your local cable system. You can also access them on demand on our website at cvctv.org. We hope you'll watch them all, then Get out on April 5th and do your civic duty and vote for the candidates of your choice. Then tune in that night beginning at 9 p.m. for the latest election returns as they come in. Thank you.
This program was recorded and presented by Chippewa Valley Community Television. Chippewa Valley Community Television is made possible by continuing community support. If you would like to volunteer or make a donation, you can contact us by calling 715-839-5067 or on the web at www.cbctv.org.